नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 ओम व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधे वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः. In this fourth chapter of Vidura Neethi, Dhritarashtra asked, which is Mahakula, who are the Mahakula belonging individuals. The purpose behind the question as well as the answer is what? As an individual, I have to become such great asset, and the accumulation or coming together or collection of these great individuals should give such a wonderful push for the evolution of the world. हमें व्यक्तिगत में भी ऐसा बनकर ऐसे व्यक्ति विशेषों के ग्रुप से ऐसे स्ट्रांग ग्रुप बनकर हमें एवोल्यूशन के मार्ग को ओपन करना है. In that way, everywhere, in every department, the respective groups become Maha Kulina. It adds to the beauty of this world. In that, every individual also enjoys. Otherwise, like in Dhritarashtra's case, each individual is stupid fellow and the whole kula is so useless that they only become destructive for the world, but the world will not spare them. Therefore, they have to destroy finally. That's the idea mainly mentioned. So, the Lakshanas are being told here of an individual who belongs to a great kula and the great kula which has got such great individuals. So few shlokas we have already seen, 7, 8. Yesterday we have seen Yahacha Naha Brahmanan Hanyat, Yahacha Naha Brahmanan Dvisheto, Nanaha Na Samitim Gachet, Yahacha Naha Nirvapet Krushim. The one who does the Dvesha of Brahmana, the one who does the killing of Brahmana, and the one who destroys the created things in the world. Here it is said Krishi, that was the main thing that time. Now, along with Krishi, everything. Whichever utilized useful for the people and whatever they are created in, whichever the place, whoever are destroying them. And who are what is the meaning of here? The Brahmana, the wise people. In those days, Brahmana or all the time Brahmana means who studies Vedas and has Jnana. Here, every scientist who is inventing great things for the world, they are called as Brahmana. And whatever they have discovered for the world, it is called as Krushi. Clear? Therefore, those who are destroying the Brahmanas means destroying the intellectual class of all those visionaries, scientists, creators. And also what is created by them, those who are destroying it. Such people should not be there in our kula. That's what Vidura tells Dhritarashtra, to mean that in no kula such people will be there. See those trains, etc., the other day burnt. That is called is the destruction of the Krushi. In the other day the buses were burnt. The other day the shops were destroyed. Buildings were, on the name of different type of the revolutions, etc. They destroy everything, which is the product of such a great effort by so many people, guided by a Brahmana, a visionary. ब्राह्मण ने विचार करके बताया तो बाकी लोगों ने काम किया जैसा उन्होंने कहा, तो इतना बढ़िया कृषि या कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ वर्ल्ड का. The one who is destroying it, he should not be in our kula. No, it's a very sublime and vast topic. I am leaving it for your discretion. It means what? Whoever is destroying the consumable goods, whoever are destroying the creators and producers, they are the worst fellows. Because of them, they and the whole kula become destroyed. In our kula is a weed, he should be taken and thrown out. So, by saying negatively, what is positively said? The opposite of it. In our kula, there should be the Brahmana Bhaktas. Those who are worshipper of Brahmana means who support the creators, the visionaries more and more. So too, in our country, in our kula, those people should be there who make a right use of all the Krishi, not destroyers of that. When we were seeing that video clippings, that the youth were burning the train में जो सीट्स वगैरह या बोगियों को, पहले तो हंसी भी आया, गुस्सा भी आया. अरे बेवकूफ, इसी ट्रेन में यू विल गो फॉर योर इंटरव्यू, इसी ट्रेन में यू विल गो फॉर योर जॉब, वेर एवर यू आर सेलेक्टेड. हाउ कैन यू बर्न दैट? Such a Rakshasatva? Anybody told you to do that for any reason? Where your common sense has gone? एक अच्छा खासा ट्रेन जो प्रजा उपयोगी है, दिमाग में आएगा कैसे थॉट कि उसको डिस्ट्रॉय करे किसी भी मीन्स से? हाउ कैन इट बी? हाउ डू यू कॉल इट एज योर डिजायर और डिमांड और प्रोटेस्ट? It is sheer destructive, showing your negative character. Maybe such people are given really job in the army, they will burn all the armed ammunition of ours only. क्योंकि अपना ट्रेन कोई बेवकूफ जला रहा है तो अपने सारे चीजों को जलाएगा, इसको अपना के नाम कोई चीज है ही नहीं. Such a misguided fellow he is. Pandavas, because of their greatness, they brought name and fame for Kurukula, because they also belong to Kuru Vamsha. Only from the Pandu's time, they are called a Pandava. Pandu is also Kaurava only, there are no Pandavas, all are Kauravas only. They got wealth, they got name and fame. It is such a farming. Farming is Krishi, Phala. Usko tum bhi enjoy karo by being with them. You and your children are destroying the crop. And the visionaries, you are troubling them. So this is not a right kula. You are aiming at your own destruction. Okay? Now, another shloka to say what is there in the Mahakula, few lakshanas, and also the people belong to the Mahakula. It is said, Trunani bhumirudakam vak chaturthi cha sunruta satam etani geheshu no chidyante kadachana. So these are the four things always are there, if at all, in any person's house or in the place of a group of people. They are Mahakula, and that person is really Mahatma or great. What are the four things? Trunani, ghas; bhumi, the land; udakam, the water; vak chaturthi, the sweet words. Here the Trunani means the food available to give to atithis, whether they are human beings or animals. तृण का अर्थ घास भी है जो पशु खाते हैं, तृण का मतलब सब्जी, वेजिटेबल, फल जो हम खाते हैं. Both of them are the same, the trees and plants only, no? तो हमेशा वो महाकुल वाला अपने घर में खाने की चीज तैयार रखता है अतिथि सत्कार के लिए. He never denies anybody food. First point. Second is bhumihi. Bhumihi means giving place to stay. This is what exactly we will see in our Taittiriya Upanishad. Na kanchana vasato pratyachakshita. Don't say no to anybody who wants a shelter at your place for some days. So to annam, don't say there is no food. Tasmad yaya kaya cha vidaya bahu annam prapnuyat. By any means get sufficient food to give the atithi. This is the great kula. Because they will set the trend. I am not telling in detail any of the shloka. When this is practiced, how positive consequence happens. When this negative is practiced, how the negative consequence happens. And what are the examples for that. इतना elaborately हम नहीं पढ़ रहे विदुर नीति को, नहीं तो पढ़ सकते बहुत. Each shloka can be for hours together. But I am giving only explanation, little. So he'll have the grass or the food for atithis. He'll have the place to stay. Then the udakam, the water to drink. Then the fourth one is chaturthi is sunrutavak, the truthful sweet words. The sweet words to welcome them, and with the sweet words only, the place to stay, the food, etc. are given, water is given. Then the sunruta means the truthful. They will not compromise with their truth, how much ever they are doing the अतिथि सेवा रूपी धर्म. देखो धर्म और सत्य साथ में जाना चाहिए. For the sake of dharma of अतिथि, You cannot compromise with the satyata. Sunrutava. Sunruta means सत्यवाणी मीठा वाली वाणी. जिस घर में है वो कुल ग्रेट कुल है, और जिस व्यक्ति में है वो व्यक्ति ग्रेट है. ऐसे व्यक्तियों के समूह वाला कुल इज ग्रेट. सो डू वी हैव द फूड रेडी to give the atithis? Do you have the place, one room extra for any guest to come and stay? Needy. So to Sunrutavak. So to the Udakam. Readiness is an attitude. Now in today's parlance, anybody you can't offer the place to stay. वो कोई मर्डर भी हो सकता है. All that is known. है ना. इट्स वेरी, इससे कलयुग. ये तो द्वापर की बातें है ना. कलयुग, कलयुग में थोड़ा दिमाग लगा. And with Dimag, we will know in and around our own friends' relations only some of the people who need it. Now, the basic understanding is what? कोई बंदे को ना जीने के लिए, खुशी से जीने के लिए ये चार चीजें चाहिए. Therefore, कोई बंदा जीना है, खुशी के जीना है, उसके लिए जो चीजें चाहिए वो देना. That is the meaning of this sloka. Now, first of all, the food is to be there. Then the shelter is there. Then some water to drink. Food, shelter includes clothing. Then a loving word. दुनिया सब यही चाहती है ना. रोटी, कपड़ा, मकान और प्यार. Readiness to give, that is called as the great person, and group of those people is called great kula. So the same words of Mahabharata uttered by Vidura, we have to understand in today's parlance. In fact, the entire country should be such a great kula that no even animal also should suffer the lack of food and water, lack of shelter, and also lack of love. कोई नहीं होना. देखो बहुत सारे जानवरों को खाना नहीं मिल रहा, इसलिए वो जनावास में आ रहे हैं. Because we are cutting the forest left and right, then where will they go? Therefore, man has become a little wiser nowadays in some countries. They are converting the towns, villages into the forest for the animal also to stay. Because we are not exclusive people to stay, cohabitation we have to have. They also should be allowed to stay. because उनका रहना भी दुनिया के लिए खूबी है. Understood the whole sloka? What is the meaning of Trunani Bhumi Udakam Chaturthi is Sunruta Vaka? That give love through words. Give some food and water. Give shelter. See that everybody has shelter, food, water, and the love. Basics. तो इसलिए देखो बड़ा क्रिमिनल भी है, पहले उसको शेल्टर देते हैं, इवन दो इट्स इन जेल. देन खाना देते हैं, चाहे दाल रोटी हो, पानी दे दे पीना. देन दे टॉक टू हिम. They counsel. They're not only a harsh speaking police wala, why did you do this crime? There are counselors also to teach those inmates of jail not to commit such mistakes because they deserve it. Sondutavak. This is called Mahakula. ऐसे कुल हमको तैयार करना है. अब वो क्या है? जगह को ही लूटने वाले हो गए, जमीन को हड़प करने वाले हो गए, खाने को मिलावट करने वाले हो गए, खाने को लूटने वाले हो गए, पानी को गंदा करने वाले, पानी को बिजनेस बनाने वाले हो गए. एंड वर्ड्स ऑफ कर्स, वर्ड्स ऑफ इंसल्ट, वर्ड्स ऑफ फाइंडिंग फॉल्ट, वर्ड्स ऑफ ह्यूमिलिएशन ही है, नॉट द प्रेम वाली बात है. और झूठ है, सत्य नहीं. See the world change. In this way, beautiful slow. It's a very sublime guidance. विदुर नीति को समझना है तो समय दिमाग दोनों चाहिए. कुछ लोगों को समय है, कुछ लोगों को दिमाग है, कुछ लोगों को दोनों नहीं है. जिसका दोनों है, दे बिकम क्वालिफाइड. ओके. नाउ श्रद्धया परया राजन् उपनीतानि सत्कृतिं प्रवृत्तानि महाप्राज्ञा धर्मिणां पुण्यकर्मिणां. This is the again the individual or the group of individuals which call as महाव्यक्ति और महाकुल. कौन से ग्रुप ऑफ लोगों को महाकुल कहते हैं, कौन से इंडिविजुअल को महान कहते हैं? दिस वन. फर्स्ट वन धर्मिणाम पुण्य कर्मिणा. दे डू ऑल धर्म कर्म एंड पुण्य कर्म. सेकंड वन दे डू इट श्रद्धया परया. दे डू इट विथ लॉट ऑफ श्रद्धा. थर्ड इज इन सत्कृतिम. एंड देन दे डू इट विथ ऑल द सत्कार. They do the dharma karma, punya karma with utmost shraddha expressed in the form of respect and reverence toward those activities. They are called as Mahakula. So the dharma karma they do, varnashrama dharma, punya karma they do, the niyata karma, naimittika karma of serving the world, both of they do with respect and reverence, born out of the extreme shraddha. And they deserve the satkara from others, obviously. So what is dharma? What is punya? And we should have shraddha in them. Shraddha in them means what? They are told by Shastras, they are told by Gurus, they are told by the elders, and it's a duty for me to do. It helps me to evolve. It helps the society also to be benefited. ये सब कुछ श्रद्धा कहते हैं. Therefore, while doing utmost reverence called as Satkruti. That is what again in Upanishad, Shraddhaya Deyam, Ashraddhaya Deyam, Shriya Deyam, Hriya Deyam. Same in Gita, Mukta Sangha, but Samachara. सारा आप मिलाओगे तो सारा आपको पता मिल जाता है. हो गया. नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन मोर गुण ऑफ दिस ग्रेट कुल वाले. मैं तो बहुत फास्ट जा रहा हूँ. टेक्स्ट को आगे बढ़ा. ओनली सैंपल आई एम गिविंग, and these talks are samples to develop big PowerPoint presentations by the managerial cadre to empower their youngsters and the whole company with the higher values and wisdom, which in slow time, slow ही होता है, in turn they will create such a great trend that the true value oriented living is happening, development is happening, enjoyment is happening. Value oriented. There's not today value-based management, value-based education, value-based samsthas, but they don't know what is value actually. Their value means पैसा ही सोचते हैं. Inner values compromise कर रहे हैं. So these are all values. One more shloka. Sukshmopi bhanaram nrupate syandano vai shakto vodum tatha nye mahijaha evam yukta bharasaha bhavanti mahakulina natathanni manushyaha. Simple example, beautiful shloka. See a chariot of a king carries very heavy load of the king and the entire family and his arms and ammunition and his breakfast, lunch, dinner, clothes, सब कुछ. एक रथ सब कैरी करता है, बट एक पेड़ ये सब करता ही नहीं कैरी. लगाने की कोशिश करो तो फिसल जाएगा या टूट जाएगा. No, what is this funny example of the ratha and the paid? The example is the ratha is made out of the paid only. Because the wheels of the ratha are made out of the tree. The place to sit of the ratha also is made of the tree. सब वुडन ही होता था ना. So the tree is made so beautiful as ratha, which carries the loads which the tree itself could not carry. So too the Mahakula people, who are human beings otherwise earlier like the tree, have made themselves molded like a ratha. And what is the use there? The ratha carries heavy load, not the tree. In the same way, they have molded themselves to be a chariot like which can carry lot of load. Here, load means two. One, they go through all types of difficulties which are imposed for one or the other reason, and also they take the huge loads of responsibilities of the world. They are called as Mahakulina. They are compared with the Ratha. No, the paid वही रहता है. It will not move. No, it will not carry any the load because it will be imbalanced, and it will, even if you put it, the branch gets broken. Is it not? A non-working human being, non-responsibility taking human being, and going through difficulty wala to become qualified. He is like an ordinary paid, but the paid is cut, the wood is brought, then that is softened and all process it goes through. Article everything mechanical and machinery. Then yesterday before, in 10 minutes, 2,000 trees were cut with so many missions in one of the country. सब गिर रहे थे टकड़क करके. आजकल काटना तोड़ना इतना इजी होता है, उगाना नहीं होता है. It's not in our hands. By the way, here the tree is with all the efforts when it is made into that chariot. So too, Triyarudu, this human being who converted himself to be like a chariot. What is chariot example here? Two things: going through all difficulties and carrying heavy load. The chariot, any vehicle in today's world, goes through the proper road, goes through the marshy land, goes through the sandy land, and while going through, it is every time so difficult. घसीटना पड़ता है कभी कभी. But the chariot चलता है. मतलब going through difficulties hinted through that explanation. And on that chariot, lot of heavy loads are kept. So too, here in the example of a human being, he ready to carry all the loads of responsibility. So taking heavy load of responsibility, going through all difficulties, like the mother at home. She takes the responsibility of feeding food to everybody at home, taking the load. And to fulfill that, she goes through all the difficulties. Going to market, getting the vegetable, washing them, cutting them, cooking them, serving them. After that, washing all utensils is called going through difficulties. तो महात्मा लोग वो होते हैं, वो दुनिया का भार भी उठाते हैं, बीच में जो भी कठिनाइयां हैं उनको भी वो लोग झेलते हैं. See the way the example is given. The Ratha and a tree. He is a Mahakulin. So it also means the tree की तरह छोड़ दो तो tree की तरह रहेगा. But you have to mold like a chariot. But for that, you have to go through all the processes. And my responsibility should be go through all difficulties, take the load and responsibility of the world, like Gurudev says. Responsibility. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Responsibility, ability to respond to the need. These are Mahakulina. इसका ऑपोजिट क्या है? सड़ा पड़ा है अपने घर में, अब खुद ही खा रहा है, अब कोई मेहनत करो बोल तो कर ही नहीं रहा. Not even going to cast the vote. Not is going to inquire the people, how are you, can I help you? Such an individual which is so khudgarj and lazy is a bhoj on the world. And if the group of people are like that, that country is satyanash. They beg others. Human beings remaining same. How come one country is becoming the givers of the loan, other countries receivers? It should not be like that, no? It's because these fellows have worked hard and be ready, fulfill their own necessities and ready to help others. These fellows are so stupid lazies. Is individual or the group or the total governance? They become beggars. How can it be? Like this, not one, not two. So many meanings can be culled out. But the Saram says, महाकुल के लोग वो होते हैं जो पेड़ की तरह खड़े नहीं रहते, जो सब पानी वानी पीता रहता है. They are like a chariot who carry the load and go through the toughness. Thank you. Some more are there. We'll see them tomorrow. Like this beautiful shloka.